The best way to get good at using the point slope equation is to do some examples. So let's do that. For the first, let's work through it together. The process we'll use is the same every time. Setup first. By setup, I mean start with y equals, leave space for the slope, x minus, leave space for the x1 number, plus, and then leave space for the y1 number. That's your setup every time. Next up is the substitute step. That's where we take our slope, put it in front of the parentheses, and that's where you take your x1 and your y1 and put them where they go in the equation. The x coordinate with the x variable, the y coordinate on the back. The third step is to do any simplifying if needed. Here's what I mean by that. Take a look. Do you ever have minus a negative or plus a negative? It's these negative signs that cause the need for simplification. If so, simplify. Leave the negative 7 alone. Inside, minus negative is going to turn into plus positive. And the plus 3 on the back just stays a plus 3 on the back. It's not a bad idea to check with a graph once you're finished. Let's hop over to Desmos real quick. I think that my equation, y equals negative 7, x plus 1, plus 3, should pass through the ordered pair, negative 1, 3. Nice thing about Desmos is you can just click on the line and see if that happens. Sure enough, a point on the line is negative 1, 3. Is the slope negative 7? Well, if I go over one spot, I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, the slope is also negative 7. We did good. Let's do another example. Again, the steps. Start with setup. Then comes substitution. So setup first. Y equals space for the slope, x minus space for x1, plus space for y1. Slope goes in front of the parentheses every single time. X coordinate and y coordinate go in those back spots. This time there is a little simplification to do because minus 0 doesn't really change anything. So we've got y equals negative 3, x minus 0 is just x with the plus 4 on the back. Now I want you to think for a little bit about why that makes sense. We ended up with the y equals mx plus b equation, a slope-intercept. It's because of the point that we used. The point that we had to use is on the y-axis. It is the y-intercept. So, of course, the equation we end up with is the slope-intercept equation. Neat little thing there. Okay, for the next, I'd like you to do a little pause here. Try it yourself, and then unpause when you're ready to check your answer. Set up first. Y equals space for the slope, x minus space for x1, plus space for y1. Slope number in the front, x coordinate with the letter x, y coordinate on the back. Now this time there's some special simplification to do. Y equals 0 times the parentheses is the same as 0 times anything else. It's just 0, not 0x anymore, just 0. Put the plus 1 on the back, and 0 plus 1 is just 1. That's because a line with a slope of 0 is a straight horizontal line. And a straight horizontal line is going to be an equation y equals a number, just like that. Okay, let's go again. For this next one, let's not do a pause. Let's just look at it together because this one is special. Slope equals undefined only ever happens if your line goes straight up and down. Here's where I need us to think a little bit. If you look back on your toolkit, a line that goes straight up and down and goes through the ordered pair negative 4, negative 1 has to look like this. And a line that goes straight up and down has the equation x equals a number. Which number? Well, we're going to look at the x-coordinate of the point for that. X equals a number. You just look at number for where the x is. Remember, x is the first, y is the second. So what we're left with is the equation x equals -4. This is a good one. Again, I'm going to check on our Desmos really quickly. X equals -4. Does that, in fact, go straight up and down? It does. Does it go through the ordered pair -4, -1? Yes, it does. Right there it is. So we have done a good job. This last one is much more typical. I'd like you to do a quick pause, unpause when you're ready to check. Space for the slope, x minus, space for the x-coordinate, plus on the back. Your slope number goes in front of the parentheses. Your x-coordinate in with the letter x, your y-coordinate on the back. Simplify if needed. This time we need. Because on the back plus a negative is just a little complicated. It's easier to write it as minus. So everything else stays the same. And we change the back to a -4. To finish up, let's just now do a few that are from the practice packet. So if these aren't already finished, find them on your practice packet. We'll start at the front. I would like you to do a quick pause. Try it yourself. Unpause when you're ready to check. First, the setup. Y equals, space for the slope, x minus, space for the x1 with a plus on the end. Let's put the numbers where they go. The slope is 1. The x-coordinate is 4. And then the y-coordinate is 5. It is okay to leave it like this, but since multiplying by 1 doesn't change anything, we will very often just not write the 1. And so if you check your answer in the back, it will likely look like this without the number 1 in front. Next up, I once again want you to do a little pause, unpause when you're ready to check things. Start with the setup. Y equals, space for the slope, parentheses, x minus, space for the x with a plus on the end. Slope number goes in front. X coordinate, the -3 goes inside, so we're going to take care of those signs in a moment. Y coordinate goes on the back. So final answer, leave the slope number as it is. Minus negative in the parentheses turns into a plus with the +1 on the back. There you go. And then lastly, once again, would you please do a quick pause, unpause when you're ready to check. So I got y equals, we've got space for the slope, x minus with a plus. Let's now put the numbers where they go. Slope number in front. For the x-coordinate, it's a negative number again. Y-coordinate, a positive. So a little bit of simplifying to do. Y equals -3/2. Minus the negative is going to turn into plus with a +2 on the back. So follow those steps. Set up, substitute, simplify, and you are going to end up in the right place all the time.